Cory Booker just pulled off something no U.S. Senator ever has, a 25-hour, record-breaking speech, and then he turned it into a viral TikTok campaign that reached millions. From Senate floor to TikTok feed. This is more than politics. It's a masterclass in modern messaging. Let's break it down. Booker's marathon speech was a protest, a stand against Republicans and Donald Trump. But under the political surface, it was strategic visibility. Cory Booker's team launched a brand new Senate TikTok account mid-speech, an account that grew to over 700,000 followers in just hours. His debut TikTok, a short, raw moment behind the scenes. It hit 7.5 million views and 1.3 million likes. The live stream gathered over 300 million likes total, with more than 150,000 people watching at its peak. This wasn't accidental. This was strategy, intentional, timely, platform-native storytelling. Booker's team understood something that most leaders miss. You can't just repurpose content for social, you have to reimagine it. They didn't stream the entire 25 hours in C-SPAN format. They gave us bite-sized, emotional, story-driven highlights. These weren't just clips, they were moments. A glance, a pause, a personal story, a quote that hits you in the chest, such as, it's not left versus right, it's right versus wrong. That's a great soundbite. Cory Booker didn't rant. He told stories. He told personal stories of Americans struggling under economic pressure. He talked about his own father, about civil rights, about the dream of a just democracy, not just as slogans, but as soul-level truths that he really believes. His most memorable quote, in my opinion, "If America hasn't broken your heart lately, you don't love her enough," quote. That line alone caught fire online because it didn't sound like a politician, it sounded like us. Booker's team applied a crucial principle: lead with emotion, layer in stories and substance. They understood TikTok isn't just a platform, it's an emotional medium, and it likes short, snappy sound bites. And they knew that facts, policies, and arguments don't land. They only land if people feel something. So Booker's stories were personal. He spoke about growing up in a working-class family in New Jersey and how his parents had to fight to buy a home. He invoked John Lewis. He quoted Maya Angelou. He spoke about despair and hope and the legacy of protesting. And every time his voice cracked, every pause he took, those were the moments that his team clipped, edited, and posted. The result? A highlight reel of vulnerability, clarity, and conviction. And audiences responded. Gen Zers commented things like, "I don't usually care about politics, but this made me cry." Or, "Why does this feel like a sermon and a TED Talk?" However, not all reactions were favorable. Some critics viewed Booker's marathon speech as a political stunt, lacking substantive impact. For instance, the New York Post characterized the effort as emblematic of a party struggling for coherence, stating that it, quote, epitomizes Democrats' pathetic incoherence in the wake of last November's defeats, end quote. So, two sides to the story. But there is something to be learned about this masterclass in social media. What makes a moment go viral? Timing and contrast. Booker's team didn't tease the TikTok launch. They dropped it in the middle of his speech, creating a burst of attention, urgency, and discovery. They didn't just say, "Come watch." They said, look what's happening right now. In an era where attention is fleeting, surprise matters. Viewers stumbled onto something that felt historic, but also felt intimate, like they'd caught lightning in a bottle. It wasn't polished, it was raw. It didn't scream produced, it whispered real, raw, authentic. That's the new standard. Which brings us to the heart of today's episode of Strategic Basic. Meet your audience where they are and then move them emotionally. Don't bombard them with facts. Share stories that connect. Booker didn't ask TikTok to come to the Senate floor. He brought the Senate floor to TikTok. He reversed it, which was very cool. And once he was there, he had stories to bridge the gap from the Senate floor to social media. And that's how you move people in today's media landscape. Not by shouting, not with data, but by sparking an emotional response through stories. If you're a leader, a founder, a change maker, take notes. So here are 3 questions to ask before your next big message drops. Where is my audience spending time? Post where they are. What emotion do I want to evoke? Before you try to educate, inspire, before you try to persuade, relate, connect. And then what format or what social media platform fits this moment best? Great communication doesn't just reach people, it moves them. And movement starts with understanding where your audience is standing. Cory Booker's 25-hour speech will go down as a political milestone. He broke the record. It's the longest Senate speech ever right now. And he had to do it by fasting and getting very dehydrated beforehand. So maybe we don't want to copy that. But what we do want to note is his TikTok strategy. It's a communications masterclass that we can learn from. He didn't just speak truth to power. He spoke truth to platform. And that's how you go from noise to influence. I'm Aurora Winter, author of Turn Words into Wealth. You can get a free copy of my award-winning book at turnwordsintowealth.com. And if you found this breakdown useful, please like and subscribe to get more episodes of Strategic Basics. Because strategy isn't just for campaigns. It's for anyone with something worth saying. It's for you.